Section 6, Statistics and Weighted Averages. Section 6 discusses basic statistics, including how we focus on averages. For Part 1, we will find an average in three ways: the mean, median, and mode. The mean is the exact same thing of what we mean by average. We could add them all up and then divide by how many we have. It's the sum of the set of values divided by the number of values. The median is the middle number. So they have to be in order to find the middle number, but the middle value in the set when the set is placed in ascending order. The mode is the number that occurs the most. Sometimes there isn't a mode, and sometimes there's more than one. The range is the largest minus the smallest value, max minus min. So the mean is just the average, the median is the middle value, the mode is the thing that occurs the most. Again, you could have more than one, or like a tie, or you could not have a mode at all. And the range is the highest value minus the lowest value. Here we see an example. Find the mean, median, mode of the data set. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 10. Okay, so what's the mean? Add them all up, divide by the 8 numbers you have. We find the mean is 6.25. What's the median? These are in order, so we have to find, okay, what's the middle number? The middle number is actually not there. It's the average of the two middle numbers. So 5 plus 7 divided by 2 would give us 6. So the middle number is actually 6. The mode, the number that occurs the most, is 10. And the range is the highest minus the lowest. 10 minus 2 is 8. So there's a range of 8 there. Another example here, 79, 32, 84, 57, 65, 51, 84, 98, and 32. Let's find the mean, median, mode here. So the mean, we add them all up and we divide by the 9 numbers we have. We have 64.67. The median is just the middle number. We need to put them in ascending order and then find the middle. So we find the middle to be 65. The mode, there isn't a number here that occurs the most, so there isn't a mode. And then the range is the highest minus the lowest. Here we find a range of 66. Another example, 12, 95, 65, 71, 13, 65, 66, 90, 80, 55, and 60. To find the mean, we add them all up, divide by the 11 numbers we have. To find the median, we have to put them in order, so we've done that. Now that they're in order, we just explain what the middle number is. The mode is the number that occurs the most. In this case, that would be 65. And the range is the highest minus the lowest. In this case, it's 83. Descriptive statistics is very confusing. So when we put this in a histogram, it's going to look like it's almost the opposite of what it should be. So right skewed implies that the mean is larger than the median. On the number line, the mean would be to the right of the median. Left skewed means the mean is to the left of the median, and symmetrical means that they're equal or approximately equal. I stole this from dummies.com. It's a valid picture, and you can see that right skewed, left skewed are almost the opposite of what you would think. So if it seems like more data is to the left, that's actually right skewed. If more data is to the right, that's actually left skewed. And that's something we have to practice and just kind of understand that if we see a graph of this, it's going to look the opposite by the way we define this quantity. Using Excel for descriptive statistics. Excel can be used to quickly calculate the descriptive statistics. Excel has many pre-programmed functions built in, such as mean, median, and mode. See page 60 in your textbook. We will use the following formulas in Excel. Mean is equals average, and then we'll place which column or row of values we'd like. Median, the exact same. You have to equal sign, and then median. Equal sign tells Excel that you want it to calculate. And then mode equals mode, and then what row or column you would like it to use. So for here we have 12, 13, 34 is the mean, median, and mode. You can see what I used to find that, and then the mode is not there. All right, Section 6, Part 2, Statistics and Weighted Averages. Section 6 discusses basic statistics, including how we focus on taking averages. For Part 2, we focus on GPA, course grade, and class averages. GPA, grade point average, course grades, weighted course grades, class average, average points for an entire class. Weighted averages, two methods. Counting method, percent method. The method of counting we've already looked at. You simply just add all the values and then divide by how many you have. And then percent, we'll have to dive deeper, but you take the value times the weight and sum those up. Let's do a weighted grade book here. So we have tests are worth 60%, homework's worth 20, quizzes are worth 20, and we see that this student has an average for their test at 85, their homework average 100, and their average quiz score was 85. So what is their course grade? So we take the 60 times the 85 plus the 20 times 100 plus the 20 times 85. We find their course grade is an 88%. Okay. All right, let's look at GPA. The trouble with GPA is that with a GPA, you have to convert the grades into numbers. So you have to be careful for that. So a B is worth 3, a D is worth 1, an A is worth 4, an A is worth 4, and a C is worth 2. So in that top column there, that's history. We have 3 credits, and we have 3 points for the B, so that would be 9. And then you have 5 times 1, which is 5. For the lab, they got a 4, so 2 times 4 is 8. Ivy Prep, they got an A, so 1 times 4 is 4. Finite Math, they got a C, so 3 times 2 is 6. So we add up all of the points and then divide by how many points there were, which is the credits. So we have 32 over 14. We have 2.29 as their GPA for this semester. Let's look at another weighted grade book. So the midterm, they got an 82. For the final exam, they got a 78. Here we have some homework scores, quiz scores, and group work. Okay, we do need to average those. We need to be able to average those, and then we take the weight. So that's something you have to practice, is that you have to notice that if you have homework scores more than 1, you have to average those, and then we can do our standard procedure. Find the average price in a day of the store that sells 28 comic books at $16, 9 rare comic books at $30, and 2 mint comic books at $50. So we just take the amount times the price, amount times the price, amount times the price, divided by how many we sold. We find the average price is $20.97. What is the average salary for a company if 18% of the employees make $36,000, 68 make $44,000, and 14 make $64,000? So we can take the percentage times the amount plus the percentage times the amount plus the percentage times the amount. We find that the average is 45,360. Here we have another idea of grades, but this is class size versus the class average. So we have a class of 18 students, a class of 21 students, a class of 17 students, a class of 12 students, and we see their averages there. So to average this, we can do 18 students times the 85.2 plus the 21 students times 90.1 plus the 17 students times 82 plus the 12 students times 67.8, and then we divide by how many students there are. 18 plus 21 plus 17 plus 12, we have 68 students. We find that the average grade for all of these courses is an 82.8.